Today in this video, I am going to show you how to find all of the factors of a number. First, let's go over the definition of what factors are. Okay, factors are the numbers that are multiplied together in order to get a product. So for example, if you wanted to find what are the factors of 12, you could say, well, 2 times 6 equals 12. So 2 and 6 would both be the factors of 12. Of course, there are more than just these two factors for the number 12. Okay, sorry, having a little bit of trouble with the Promethean board right now. Okay, there we go. All right, you can use a rainbow pattern, which can also be called a factor rainbow, to find all of the factors of a number. And this is what I'm going to be showing you today. Now, the important thing to remember is that when you use a rainbow pattern or a factor rainbow, when you repeat factors, you have found all of them. So for example, let's take the number 12 that we want to find all of the factors for. Okay, so 12. So our rainbow pattern is going to look like this. We would say that 1 times 12 is 12. And then we just go in order. 2 times 6 is 12. 3 times 4 is 12. And now when we get to 4, 4 times 3 is 12, but that is where we repeat factors, so we are finished. So all of the factors of 12 in order are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. A rainbow pattern automatically puts the factors in order for you, going from the least up to the greatest. Okay, let's look at another number. Let's say that you want to find all of the factors for the number 20. So once again, down below, we're going to make our rainbow pattern or our factor rainbow. 1 times 20 is 20. 2 times 10 is 20. Now we get to 3, and 3 does not divide into 20 evenly. When you divide 20 by 3, for example, if we use a calculator to do this, 20 divided by 3 gives us a decimal number. If you have a decimal number, that means there is a remainder. So 3 is not considered to be a factor of 20. So since 3 is not a factor of 20, we will not put it in the factor rainbow, and we just skip it. So 3 times nothing is 20. 4 times 5 is 20. And 5 is where we repeat 5 times 4, so that means we are finished. So all of the factors for 20 are 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. Let's look at another example. Let's take the number 13. Find all of the factors for 13. 1 times 13 is 13. 2 will not divide into 13. 13 is not divisible by 2 because 13 is an odd number, and only even numbers are divisible by 2. So 2 times nothing, 3 times nothing, 4 times nothing, 5 times nothing, 6 won't go into 13 evenly, 7 won't go, 8 times nothing, 9 times nothing, 10 times nothing, 11 times nothing, 12 times nothing, but then I get to 13. 13 is where I repeat factors. So all of the factors for 13 are 1 and 13. 13 only has two factors, 1 and itself. These numbers are called prime numbers. Prime numbers will only have exactly two factors, 1 and itself. The other two examples I have shown you are examples of composite numbers. Composite numbers have more than two factors. So if there are more than two factors, it will always be a composite number. Now, one mistake that a lot of people want to make is when they are going through finding all of the factors of a number, if a number or a factor doesn't sound familiar to them just right off the top of their head, they automatically don't want to try it out, they don't want to take time to divide it, and they will skip some factors. So I'm going to give you the number 45. Now most people would say, okay, 1 times 45 is 45. They know 2 is not a factor of 45 because 45 is an odd number. But then they will skip the factor of 3. And 3 actually is a factor of 45. If we took off to the side, if you don't have a calculator, you can just work it out. 45 divided by 3. 3 goes into 4 one time. 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract. 1 is less than 3. Bring down the next digit. 3 goes into 15 5 times. 5 times 3 is 15. Subtract 0. We have a remainder of 0. That means that 3 times 15 is 45. So 3 was a factor of 45. On your calculator, to figure that out, you would just simply punch in 45 divided by 3 equals 15, so you know that 3 times 15 was 45. So never make the mistake of just saying, oh, well, it doesn't sound like it's a factor or it doesn't look like it's a factor. You really need to do the work to check it out and make sure. Okay, now I can't stop because I've not repeated my factors yet. So 3 times 15 is 45. 4 times nothing is 45. 5 times 9 is 45. I know 5 is a factor because my divisibility rules of 5 tell me that any number that ends with a 5 or a 0 is divisible by 5. Okay, 6 times nothing is 45. 7 times nothing is 45. 8 times nothing. 9 times 5 is 45. That's where I repeated. So now I have found all of the factors of 45. 1, 3, 5, 9, 15, and 45. This is one of the little puzzle pieces that you're going to need in order to work further with fractions. So this is a really great way to figure out all of the factors of a number by using a rainbow pattern, which once again can also be called a factor rainbow.